All right, what's going on? Trey Albert here, founder, CEO, Don, VendettaSportsMedia.com. Today, we're going to be starting the fantasy hockey content cheese list, forwards. Let's get right to it. Before I get started, just a quick little reminder. Last year, and I'll show you just really quickly, I will also put the article version in the description for YouTube, but really quickly, just to show you what it's going to look like. Last year, we were perfect. 14 of 14 on our hit rate. You can click this link once you're in the article. It'll show you all of our picks last year. We were perfect last year. So if you want to fade me, I'd be very careful of doing so. Because nobody was more accurate in the fantasy hockey community than Trey. I've still never lost in the 5 years that I'm doing this. So you have come to the right place. So let's get started here. And then name number one, you see that already, Philip Forsberg. So the thing about Nashville is they suck. And the thing about Nashville is they still don't have a number one center. And the thing about Nashville is they were the third worst team in the Western Conference last year. So why am I taking anybody on this Nashville Predators team with the 8th pick in the draft? That is crazy. And I love Forsberg, the player, but he's not tilting the scale for you. You know what I mean? He's not tilting the scale for you. So again, I'm going to share my screen a bunch of times here. So last year, Forsberg, 76 points, played 82 games, negative 27 rating. The rating doesn't matter for fantasy. But what I'm telling you is dude, you're paying the 8th pick in the draft for 76 points. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough. Now, if he gets back to 94, that would be fucking awesome. But that was also his career high. And Nashville actually made the playoffs this year. I think this team's done. So he heads into his age 31 season. He should be already out of his prime, or at least on the fringe of out of his prime. And here's the bigger problem that I have with it. So here's the ESPN Fantasy Hockey rankings. If you're on the clock, there's just no fucking way. There's no fucking way that you're taking Forsberg over Draisaitl. End of story. I think that one's pretty easy to understand here. I don't know why anybody would take Forsberg over Draisaitl. Why is Forsberg ranked 8th overall? That is insane. I seriously don't think Sean Allen watched the games, because there's just no fucking chance that Forsberg should be the 8th pick in the draft. So I don't think we need to say much more on that. Next, another Nashville Predator. So let's pull the screen share back up, because this is crazy. And Stamkos, he's 27th overall. And you're just passing on way too good of players here. So I'm taking Gensel. I'm taking Braden Point. I'm taking Stützle. I'm taking JT Miller. I'm taking Crosby. I'm taking Kempe. I can keep going. But again, I don't think that Sean Allen actually watched the fucking games. So I don't think he's aware of the fact that Nashville sucks. Again, minus 36 rating. This Nashville team is horrible. 53 points last year in a fully healthy season. Now he heads into his age 35 season. And I say this all the time. We are looking for snapshots in moment of time. Well, the current moment of time, what do we think he's going to do right here in his age 35 season? You think he's going to get back to 106 points? Because that's the only fucking way that he lives up to his price. And if he's anywhere near this 53, let's say he even gets up to 70, you're still fucking overpaying big time. So I'm over this Nashville Predators thing. There's no fucking chance that I'm taking Stamkos at 27 overall when these other scorers on this list are going to get the puck fed to them by way better distributors. Does anybody know his teammate is Kucherov and his teammate is Kucherov, and how many points he's going to put up because of that? Yeah. So Stamkos and Forsberg, do not pick them at their current price. That is just laughable. Next name on the list, we'll go John Tavares. And the reason why we're going to go John Tavares is because he was out of his mind last year. And I just don't think he's going to replicate that. So last year, 38 fucking goals, which is the most he's had since 2018. Now, here's the problem with that. 74 points. It's okay. It's not bad, especially in 75 games. Here's the real problem with it. Let's go to his power play numbers. He had 12 goals on the power play. Last year at 9. The year before that, he had 18. He had 20 points on the power play. Here's what I'm concerned about. What happens if Tavares becomes the 3C? Because if Toronto's going to win the Stanley Cup, that's what needs to happen. He can't be the second C in the lineup. And Marner is no longer on the fucking team. So what are they going to do in terms of replacing Mitch Marner on the power play? Is their power play going to be nearly as good? And I don't think it's impossible that Toronto trades for another center and they decide, hey, as Tavares starts to age out of his prime, let's get him in that 3C winning face-off shutdown role. Which, by the way, he's about to head into his age 35 season. And the year before, he had 65 points. I just think you're going to get something closer to 65 points. And if he puts up 65 points, you are getting murdered in terms of draft costs. So right now, he is overall 43. It's really high, man. It's really high for a guy that just lost Mitch Marner on the power play. So I'm out on Tavares. I just think that price is way too rich. The next two, we can kind of breeze through those because they're on the same team and they're ranked right next to each other. And that is Matt Coronado and Nazem Kadri. So the reason why we're fading them is because the fucking Calgary Flames do not score. They're ranked 50th and 51st, respectively. You can see some of the names right below them. There's just no way I'm passing on those names in favor of the Calgary Flames, guys. So if we just go to the raw numbers here, by the way, dude, he had 47 fucking points. Do we understand how good he has to get in order to be worth that price tag? He basically has to be an 80-point guy this year. Maybe that's not impossible, but boy, oh boy, we're talking about a massive leap for a team that doesn't fucking score. So last year, the Calgary Flames were 28th in the NHL in terms of putting the puck in the back of the net as a team. And then we go to Kadri. So again, Coronado had 47 points last year. Kadri had 67 points last year. Unless he's putting up 87, which again, the only reason why I put up 87 was because he was on Colorado with McKinnon. So if he puts up 67 points, you're getting murdered at that draft cost. I don't really know what there is to say on this one. Like, does anybody watch the Calgary Flames play hockey? They don't score. So why, with a top 50 pick, would you be willing to take two guys on a team that doesn't score? I have less of a problem with the Coronado one simply because maybe there's some upside there. But I have massive problems with the Kadri one because there's no surplus hidden value on this one. Like, we know what Kadri is. He's heading into his age 35 season. He's not a mystery. Coronado, his ceiling is not defined yet. Kadri, it is. You're basically hoping and praying at this draft cost that he gets traded to a team where he can be the second line center and still in the power play. If that doesn't happen, you are getting screwed. So do not do this. Trust me, do not do either of those picks. All right, next, Fantilli. So last year he's got 54 points, 82 games. Maybe he takes a jump, right? Year 1, 27, year 2, 54. So you might be saying, hey, Trey, maybe into his age 21 season, he could put up like 70, 80, and he'll be worth it. I think we're jumping the gun on this one a little too soon. I'm going to tell you why. Because as of right now, He's not a factor on the power play. Year 1, 3 points. Year 2, 4 points. And he played all the fucking games last year. Right now, as of right now, he is not listed on the top power play unit. Okay, I'm going to repeat that one more time. As of right now, he is not listed on the top power play unit. If that does not change, you are overpaying big time. I can't take him 55th overall if he's not putting up a single fucking power play point. Okay, I'm getting robbed on that draft cost. So, as of right now, Shane Monahan and Boone Jenner are the two centers on the Blue Jackets power play. If that does not change, neither should Fantilli's draft cost. So right now he's being way overdrafted. Maybe that changes by the end of the year. Don't think we can count on it until we see it. So I think we're jumping the gun here. If you want to rank Fantilli 55th overall in 2026, I have far less of a problem with doing that than this year. I think we're just a year too soon on that. All right. Next one. Again, another one that's probably a year too soon. Dylan Holloway. So right now, Dylan Holloway had a really nice year, except for the fact that you got to pick him over Kyrou. And that I'm not willing to do. And you got to pick him over Robert Thomas, which I'm not willing to do. So last year, if we just go to Holloway, 63 points, 27 goals, 37 assists, 77 games. Really nice year. So he goes from 9 points to 63 points. And he might not be done getting better. But we say this all the time. Progression is not always linear. And there's a very real chance that he comes back down to earth a little bit and then pops up the following year. That's probably the way that I would play it. So again, a lot of this stuff is the stock market. The good news is it looks like Holloway's going to be on that Blues power play. So that's really nice. That's really nice. I just think we're jumping the gun here. And if I'm going to take somebody on the Blues, I'm probably just going to take Kyrou, who's ranked below him, and Robert Thomas, who's ranked below him. So I just think this ranking in terms of this year, probably a touch too high. I'm not willing to go 64. I think 64 is a touch too high, especially when you consider, again, just look at some of the other names here. Just look at some of the other names here. And you're going to go, really? Do I want to go Holloway ahead of Bedard? I don't know. Not willing to do that personally. Next, Dorofeev. So, again, I am a Vegas fan, as you can tell by the hat. I don't love doing this, but the dude had 17 assists last year. And you're picking a guy who had 17 assists last year as the 68th player off the board. You see the four names below him: Bedard, Aho, Suzuki, Zibanejad. I would take all of them ahead of Dorofeev. So last year, if you just go to Dorofeev's numbers, 17 fucking assists. 35 goals is nice. Here's the problem with Dorofeev. And it's not necessarily a problem. It's just part of the circumstance. Mitch Marner's on the team, and somebody's getting booted from the power play. It's either going to be Theodore at the top, and Marner's going to play like the defenseman quarterback role, or it's going to be Dorofeev on the right side, shooting. So if he gets bumped from the power play, that's not good. And that's very, 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 very possible, especially because he's playing for a contract, and Vegas might want to limit his numbers in terms of not giving him all the money that he deserves right away. So that's a factor too. Keep that in mind. Also, again, I watch this team every fucking day, pretty much. I think people are like pretending that he's going to be like the top line left winger when that's probably not going to be the case. So Eichel and Marner are going to skate together. We know this. Barbashev is going to be the top line left winger. And the reason for that is because he is a fucking cigarette machine in terms of laying out motherfuckers. He is the enforcer for those two. That's what's going to happen. That's why he's going to skate on that top line. Dorofeev and Tomas Hertl had great connection last year. It's why he put up a lot of the numbers that he did. You're drafting Dorofeev as if he's skating with Eichel and Marner. That's not the case, or at least it wasn't last year, and I don't see why that's going to change. He's going to skate with Hurdle on that second, third line. He's probably not going to score 35 goals again. He's probably going to be around 52 points. And if he gives you 52 points or 60 points, that's not good enough for where he's being drafted. Again, hate doing that. Hate dunking on Dorofeev. Love the player, but too high. Just too high. Next, Frank Vetrano. Again, last year he was being ranked as like a top 20 play. Completely fucking idiotic. This year, he's still too high. So this year, he's 85th overall. Do we understand some of the players that you're passing on in that spot? Again, let's just go to the rankings. Look at some of the players. Look at some of the players you're passing on. Let's just pull it up. Here we go. Here's Vetrano. Look at some of the players you're passing on to take Vetrano at 85. You are an insane person if you do that. He had 45 points last year, which is nothing. I'd make the argument that he shouldn't make your roster over taking him 85th overall. Again, career high is 60 fucking points. He's never had a season other than this season where he's hit 50. Now he's heading into his age 31 season. We know who Frank Vetrano is. Nice hockey player, not a fantasy producer. So why are you taking him 85th? This Sean Allen doesn't watch the games where he has no clue. Either way, do not listen to that fucking idiot. Next, and that's a name a little bit below him on the list, and that is Eriksson Ek. Love Eriksson Ek, the player, except his value is not what fantasy hockey leagues do. Last year, 29 points, 46 games. 64 points is his career high. He's never had a season where he's cracked 70. And here's the bottom line with Eriksson Ek. We do understand that the only way he's picking up fantasy points is if Kaprizov is the one putting it in the fucking net and he happens to pass it to him. Here's the problem. There's no guarantee that he's going to be the guy that does that, mostly because I think they're probably going to give Marco Rossi a chance. And even if he doesn't, who's to say that they don't shuffle that during the regular season? One week, it might be Eriksson Ek. Another week, it might be Sam Hartman. Another week, it might be Marco Rossi. They don't have a contract extension done for Kaprizov yet. They're going to try to mix and match the best combo that they can. And if Rossi actually takes a step, who knows? Maybe he runs away with the job. So I'm now taking a guy who, again, the reason why he's a good hockey player is because he wins face-off and because he's a two-way center. Not because he's putting up a fuck ton of points. There's fantasy and then there's real life. Real life, big fan of Eriksson Ek. Fantasy, not so much. So don't do that. Do not do that. Next name on the list, Rickard Rakell. So last year, Rickard Rakell has a career high fucking season out of nowhere. Just a career high fucking season. Like, let's just really break down the numbers here. So Rickard Rakell had 70 points last year. Okay, he's never done that before. His age 31 season, he has 70 points. Never done it before. He only has two other seasons, right here and right here, where he put up in the 60-point range. Do we understand that 2 years ago he had 37 points? And that year had 13. And that year had 28, 41, 28. I understand that maybe he's carved out a role next to Crosby on the power play and that he's going to maybe produce a little bit. I'm not buying this. And he needs to do that to be worth his price tag. I would argue he needs to do more than that. Again, just pull it up. Right here it is. Right here it is. Who are you passing on to do this? Because I'm not taking Rakell over a lot of these names. Just not doing it. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? That can't be real. That can't. 2-time Stanley Cup winning center. Nope. Yep. You're gonna pass on him for that? No, do not listen to this Sean Allen. He has no clue. No clue. 2 more names, and then we'll get out of here. Again, in the embed of this post is the scoring rules that we use as well, just in case there's any confusion on that. Next, LaFerriere, 96th overall. Insane. So again, let's just pull up the ESPN rankings. Like, are you serious with some of this? Are you serious? Are you seriously taking LaFerriere ahead of some of those guys? Are you serious? Again, still a young player. Can still get better. 42 points. He's averaging 16 minutes a night, and he's not giving it anything on the power play. Nothing on the power play. Again, that's not going to change because they brought in Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko's the power play guy. So we're talking about a guy who 42 points, 0 on the power play. Even if that climbs to 50 or 60, you're still getting murdered on that draft cost. Don't do that. And then the last one is just Chris Kreider because he's old and he shouldn't. Age 34 season, 30 points last year, 22 goals. He's not doing this again, especially on the fucking Ducks. So you're basically going to have to hope and pray that his power play numbers, because that's the real difference. Last year or 2 years ago, he had 18 goals in a power play. Last year, it's 6, 1 assist. That's the difference. So again, I think we're talking about a guy who's aging out of his prime big time. He now plays for the Ducks, who aren't any good. Well, the Ducks should be better, but still. No. He's not a top 100 pick anymore. He should go in the 150 or 200 range. So there's a cheese list. Again, whole point of the cheese list. Looking for the landmines. We're looking for the guys. Cross them off your fucking list. Don't pick them under any circumstance. If you simply do that, you're going to be in great shape. So any comments, questions, concerns, I'm here. Other than that, peace out, Girl Scout.